Howdy y'all and welcome back. Super short gear review. Today we're looking at the Apex flat face trigger for the Glock 43X that I was totally gonna leave stock. So I got some rounds through it last weekend and I love the way it shoots, but the trigger it's a little more stiff than I care for. Granted, it's brand new. I know that Glock triggers break in. Like the longer you have them, the better they get. I totally get that. As I have discussed in the past, I'm not a big fan of the shape, and what I mean, not so much the curve this way shape, but the shape this way on the trigger, the way it interfaces with your trigger finger. It's that kind of like stacked pyramid, serrated. I'm not a big fan of that, and I'm not a big fan of plastic triggers in general. I grew up shooting like Smith & Wesson revolvers, cowboy guns. In the service, I carried guns with metal triggers. I just don't really like the way a plastic trigger feels under my finger. Doesn't matter what it is, doesn't matter what gun it is. So I knew I was probably going to be changing out the trigger anyway. Figured this time around, I'm going to kind of keep some kind of consistency with my M&Ps. So I'll go Apex. Started searching around online, could not find a damn complete Apex trigger kit to save my ass. So I ended up getting one off of eBay that was like a special edition kit that is just the trigger shoe and the connector, but it does not come with the trigger bar. Figured, yeah, it can't be that difficult to, fly. And on the M&P, it comes that way, and you have to take the M&P trigger bar and put it on the new shoe. That part wasn't difficult. What I could not figure out how to do was remove the trigger bar from the factory Glock trigger, and you'll see here in a minute how I ended up solving that problem. It doesn't matter because I hate those triggers, and so it doesn't matter. But anyway, so let's take it over to the table and take a look at the before and after. All right, we are safe and clear. Chamber is clear. Let's take a look at first the pre-travel, and it's not crazy long, and it's clean. It's not gritty or crunchy or weird or anything. It's a nice clean pre-travel and a very, very defined wall, like very defined. And I'm pressing and I'm pressing and I'm pressing, and there's the break. It's a nice crisp, clean break. It's just stout. Very positive reset. I'm trying to resist to show you. There we go. There's the reset. And again, just the tiny, it really is. It's not mushy. It's very crisp. It's just very stout. But not altogether bad. Just stout. All right, and here's the factory trigger after removing it from the trigger bar. So yeah, I'm going to go ahead and say probably worth it to spend the extra money and get the kit that comes with the Apex trigger shoe already connected to a trigger bar. There may be some kind of finesse way of getting the factory bar out of the shoe. I couldn't figure it out, so I just broke it. Anyway, now we've got the Apex trigger in. I honestly can't tell a whole lot about what the connector is doing any difference. And really, the characteristics aren't that different. So we've got a little bit more dingus, little safety dingus action going on here. But you don't feel that. Like when you put your finger on the trigger, there's no resistance there. It just goes to the shoe itself. So there's the travel. I'm at the wall, little bit of creep, not much. There's the break, reset, and break. So travel, wall, break. Reset, break. It's not dramatically different. Again, before I point this at the camera, yes, we are safe and clear. What is radically different is the width of the shoe itself. And there is just something about when your finger comes across and lands on a much wider trigger, it feels like you don't have to press it as much. You don't have to put as much energy, as much force into it to make it break. It's spreading, it's more surface area under the pad of your finger or whatever. I don't have a gauge, but the trigger, this kit is not supposed to reduce the trigger pull weight itself. It's just supposed to clean it up, and it gives you a metal trigger shoe, which is much, much, much better in my opinion. All right, and so the Glock 43 is almost ready to be carried. Got the holster in, got a video on that coming up soon. Need to get it to the range, put some rounds through it, put some self-defense rounds through it, make sure those cycle. But otherwise, I'm really liking this package. And I think I actually really will probably leave it alone from here. We've got the trigger kit, the sights. As much as I like stippling, I'm probably not going to stipple this one. I am generally trying to go for that. Like, if it ends up in front of a jury, it doesn't have Punisher skulls and shit and cuts and whatever all over it. I want it to look pretty much mostly stock. And so I think I'm going to be good from here. Time will tell. Anyway, so I'll have a range report coming soon. Until next time, be easy, y'all.